the nation, around the world, wherever you may be. This is the NECA King, and you are in the halls of the NECA King. We are going to be doing an unboxing / review of Kanye West's Vultures. Now this album has been a long time in the coming. Gosh darn it, I'm messing around with a new tripod and I just can't get the dynamic functions of this art that I'm doing properly on screen. What the fuck? I feel like a genius. I feel like an artistic genius of my generation, and I feel very underappreciated. So this album was supposed to come out in like November, December. It eventually didn't end up dropping and then turned into 3 albums, only one of which has surfaced. I think it officially finally came out in like February. I ordered this in December. It is now almost June, and I just got it. So what do I think of this album? Well, it's interesting because I've been listening to it since it got leaked. Like, it got leaked in December, and it was like 2 hours long. It was unfinished. Most of the songs that were on that leak didn't make it to this. They're supposed to be on Vultures 2 or 3. I mean, a lot of these songs were on the leak too, but they were completely unfinished. And so this album is way different than the album that I was quote unquote used to, because I had been listening to it since it got leaked. And then when this finally came out in January, February, I had to warm up to it a little bit because it wasn't the album that I was used to. But now, especially that I have it on vinyl, it's almost like I've just listened to it for the first time, because this is like the product. I'm holding it in my hand. There's, Kanye kind of has a thing where he'll retool an album after it's already out. He'll George Lucas it. I remember when Life of Pablo came out and I listened to it, and then all of a sudden one day things were different. And I was like, did I get Mandela affected? Like, what the fuck happened? And I checked, and he had updated the album, and not just did tweakings on the mastering or mixing or whatever. He had changed portions of it, and it was different. You know what I mean? And things that I liked were different, and I had to let the new things grow on me. And it's weird, this weird way of consuming music in the digital age. And Kanye plays into it. Like it's part of what he does now. The music is malleable. It's plastic. And to actually have the album, like, this is the album. You put it on the platter, it plays start to finish. And this is what it is. There are no new tracks inserted here or there or things. And that's not to say that there's not like a cool sort of merit to that kind of way of releasing music. But the vinyl album, I think, is the absolute premier cream of the crop way to release music, because it's a beautiful presentation and it is what it is. You cannot alter it. In the age of digital media, the importance of physical media becomes more and more obvious. So anyway, a lot changed between when and this is Ty Dolla $ign too. I can't leave out Ty Dolla $ign. This is a quote unquote super group, even though I never fucking heard of Ty Dolla $ign previous to this, except on like him being on Kanye songs. You know what I mean? But so this is a collaborative effort between the two musicians, and I like it. This version of it has grown on me, and it's not to say that I didn't like it at first. It's just that I had become accustomed to the unfinished version, and I don't want to do that anymore. It's hard for me to do because I wanted to hear his new music, but especially with the controversies, the things that he's gotten into over the last couple of years, I wanted to hear what his new sound was going to be like. But I shouldn't have gotten, well, it's fine now, because now I have this, and I've been listening to the released version for a few months, and now that I finally have the vinyl, it's like, it is what it is. And I listened to this twice today, and man, it is mixed really well for the LP. Like, I know people have been saying it's a shit show behind the scenes at Yeezy, you know what I mean? The whole rollout has been fucked up. People are getting their Yeezy pods. It took me 5 months to get my record, but whatever work they were putting into it did pay off. It's very minimal packaging. The cool part about the packaging is that the inner of the album is all blacked out. That's a cool detail that I like. That's a very Kanye detail. All the sleeves are blacked out. But on the back, it's just, sort of dark, what is that? Dark tan, dark gold lettering. And there's not much to it. There's no There's no lettering on the spine. When it sits next to Donda on the shelf, it's going to be just a big black fucking spot on your record shelf. So the actual record sounds really good on the platter. Like can you even see that? You can see that the track listing is on there. On Donda, I have a new tripod thing, so I'm not accustomed to it yet. On Donda, dude, it's 4 records long, and it doesn't have any. That's the black one in the corner there. It doesn't have any track listings on any of the records. So I had to I had to do a forensic listening the first time I opened up the record and played it, because the guy who sold it to me didn't have the records all in order. So I had to have like YouTube open and Wikipedia with the track listing to make sure that I was listening to the album in the right order. Because I want the experience. When I listen to the album, I want the experience of the album. And that's why it's important to have this like vinyl copy of it, because this is the album. This is it right here. You know, there's no tinkering or anything. And again, like I understand the sort of charm of that and like the new way of releasing music or whatever, but just something about having the tangible release. And the way that they mixed it was really, really good.
But I'm just gonna say this is the shittiest mix.
I have a crappy record player with like tiny speakers. And a mark of a well-mixed and mastered album is if it sounds good on a shitty system like that. When we were doing our recording in Boston, one of the things that our producer would have us do is go listen to it in like car stereos and crappy headphones and like the shitty stereo at work in the corner, you know what I mean? And get a feel for the way it sounded on those things, because he's like, dude, there's like $250,000 of equipment in this studio. Everything's going to sound good in here. Take it out into the world and play it out there. And if it sounds good out there, then it's well mixed and then it's well mastered. And this sounded really, really, you could play it really loud on my shitty little record player with no proper subwoofer. I just played Yay, that record back there, which if you're a dad with kids and struggle to be a husband, go listen to that fucking record. It's amazing. And it sounds great. There's nothing wrong with the way that it's mixed, but it really benefits you to have a really dope sound system if you're going to listen to that. And this one's just mixed in such a way that if you have the amazing sound system, it's just going to benefit it even more. But it comes across with a lot of clarity on just a normal ass sound system, and that's important. So that's really all I have to say about it. I mean, as far as it goes in terms of like what go watch Anthony Fantano. If you want to see some funny shit, go watch Anthony Fantano's reaction video to Vultures. He's such a fucking nerd.
I'm kind of used to it at this point. You guys have been fucking hating on me and getting up my ass over Kanye takes since 2010. Like, there's nothing you could say to me that's going to faze me at this point, okay? So, classic Kanye. Oh, and there's people in chat asking me if I'm a Jew. Well, that's great. That's great. You guys are a real class act. Thank you. You guys are psychotic with how you fucking do the double standard. Psychotic. The gaslighting is insane.
What do I think of it in terms of all the other albums? Well, I mean, my Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is always going to be his Thriller. That's why I have it up there next to Thriller. And I think that an artist makes their Thriller and then they never go back to that. They never go back to, I don't want to say they never go back to that greatness, but they sort of level out and become themselves after that. And Michael had a real hard time dealing with that. Even though he released much better music after Thriller, like Dangerous and History were way better albums than Thriller. But he never achieved that greatness again. And I don't think that Kanye's ever going to achieve that greatness again either. In terms of like cultural influence, he's going to continue to sort of become a footnote and a sideshow, just like Mike did. But I think that his music is going to sustain, because this album's fucking good, man. It's really good. It's grown on me. I mean, it is. A big portion of the album is black guys fucking. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the theme of the album. I'm a rich black guy fucking. You know what I mean? There's a lot of pussy and like good cars or whatever, expensive cars. Not good. If you want a good car, get a fucking Tacoma. But that's not the important aspect of it to me. I just like the music, you know what I mean? I don't have any parallel to their lifestyle, and I think the materialism is toxic. But when he speaks to being like a father and a husband and a sort of fuck up and a quasi failure and just feeling like you're a failure despite your accomplishments, dude, he really hits the nail on top of the head, and he says it in a funny way. I relate to his lyrics. I'm a crazy narcissist too. I'm just not a successful musician, so I don't have any parallel to that lifestyle. But I get Kanye. He's like my spirit animal, and that's why. And his music just moves me in a particular way. It's got a texture to it. He's always been about texture and aesthetic sonically. It's what, you know. It's more than hip hop. It's not just hip hop. It's something else. But anyway, I really like this album. I would put it in my top 5 Kanye albums. You know what I mean? I don't know which one it would bump out, but it's certainly better than the last couple he's put out. I don't got nothing against Jesus is King or Donda, but they didn't really move me the way these other records did. Like, these two at the top are autobiographical records. They're records that I listen to and I feel like I wrote or were written for me. You know what I'm saying? And 808s is an amazing album too. It's like iconic. It's got its own vibe and sound, and you know, Kanye's done a lot of amazing things musically, and I don't really give a fuck what he said about Netanyahu. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit, dude. Like, grow up. This world is crazy. Artists are fucking nuts. This man has mental health issues. You know what I'm saying? And he's been manipulated by the global elites. They literally, like, lock him up against his will and shit. It's crazy. He's nuts, though. I mean, it's fair to say that Kanye's out of his fucking mind. But I love his music. And Vultures is a great addition to his library. I'm excited to see. I hope he puts out Vultures 2 and 3, or at least Vultures 2. I want to hear the Backstreet Boys song all mixed and finished. I want to get it on vinyl. I want to wait 8 months to get it on vinyl, Kanye. Put it out. All right, guys, this is the NECA King, and this is the halls of the NECA King. I believe the next episode is going to be, it's either going to be Michael Jackson, Kitty Wells, Black Sabbath, or Pink Floyd. I'm not sure which one I'm going to film first. But thank you for joining me on the Summer Sizzler. Tune in on Juneteenth. Tariq Nasheed is going to host $1,000 Shelf, and we are going to talk about how my Ninja Turtle toys relate to the struggle of foundational Black Americans. All right, thank you guys, and have a wonderful day. Bye.